Now, 8Sports Blitz with Nolan Knight and Madeline Frentress.
It's Region Championship Week in the VHSL playoffs. A win tonight not only raises a banner in your gym, but it means a spot in the state semifinals are on the line. Hello to welcome into 8 Sports Blitz, everyone. Thank you for making the Blitz your home for high school football. And man, what a night it was across the state. 9 area teams are actually in action this weekend in region championships. They're all fighting for a spot in the state semifinals. Tonight we'll start in our highest class, then work our way down as over in Chesapeake in Class 6, the Thomasdale Knights had their toughest task of the season. They were on the road at undefeated and talented Oscar Smith. The Knights looking for their first region title in 10 years. The Tigers coming off of a 50-0 shutout win over LC Bird will pick up, and it's Oscar Smith that was already knocking on the door when Reginald Wallace takes the handoff and finds the end zone for the early score. Thomasdale would look to respond. Wyatt Jessup back to pass. He fires deep downfield, but it's picked off. Oscar Smith takes back over, and it's more offense from one of the state's best. This pass thrown down the sideline for Travis Johnson. The Michigan commit hauls it in, stays on his feet, down the sideline and in for another score for the Tigers. Thomasdale would score late in the game thanks to a nice scoop and score in the fourth, but in the end, the ninth season comes to a close in the Class 6A region finals, falling to Oscar Smith 48-7. A tough end to the year for a really talented Knights team. In the Class 5C region game, it was an all-Richmond showdown as the 5th seed Hermitage Panthers were looking to knock off perennial power Highland Springs this afternoon with a spot in the state semis on the line. We'll jump to the second quarter. Panthers up by 7. Springers looking to answer on their home turf, and they do. Handoff to my man Eric Bird, and look out, the big fella's got some speed. Bird finding space, turning on the Jets, taking it all the way to the house to tie it at 7. In the first quarter, though, the Hermitage offense had a hard time moving the rock. Taylon Ted, handoff to Avery Curtis, but there's a fumble on the play. Springers come up with the turnover, and then one play later, Richardson airs it out. It's Malik Bullock, holds it in for another Springers touchdown, giving the Springers a 7-point lead into halftime. Then on the opening kickoff, out of the break, it's Jalen Padmore on the return for the Springers. Padmore finding an open lane. He's going to take this one all the way down to the goal line, and on the very next play, it's who else but Bird again that finds the end zone for another score. The Panthers did score once more, but it's not enough to make the comeback. Highland Springs wins it 21-13, and they'll now host Indian River in the Class 5 state semifinals next Saturday.
You can fool them once, you're not going to fool them twice. And we had some circumstances, like in the first game, that, didn't allow us to be our best. But we didn't take, that to complain. Happy about the win that we got then, and we happy about the win that we got today. But it's credit to the defense.
As for the Class 4B Region Championship, we have another all-region matchup as the Huguenot Falcons will be hosting Varina tomorrow afternoon on Saturday with a spot in the Class 4 state semis on the line. Both the Blue Devils and the Falcons have looked dominant in the postseason. Varina dismantled top seed Dinwiddie 34-0, while last week the Falcons went into Louisa County, left with a 34-11 win, which was their 11th straight. And although these two teams have had losses this year, they knew that this matchup against each other was inevitable.
Man, at the end of the day, man, we got to prepare like we did this week. We got to score one more point than they do. We get to play them at home. So again, it's going to be a fun game. We knew all year this is what it was going to come down to. No matter what the media says, we know what it's going to be, and we knew it was going to be us in Varina. So now we get to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have full coverage from that game on Saturday right here on 8 News. All right, let's get back on track. Head out to Norfolk as in Class 3A Region Championship. The Petersburg Generals were in action against Lake Taylor. The Crimson Wave playing in their first region final since the 2014 season on the road at Lake Taylor. This one was a good one. We'll pick up. It was the Titans that would get on the board first. Keon Johnson takes the handoff, hits the hold, gets past everybody to get the scoring started. Petersburg, though, would respond. Kimani Peebles throws one up for Jalen Ray, finds some open space, hurdles a die into the end zone. That to cut into a Lake Taylor lead 15-7. But Breon had a big night as well. He would score the hat trick of touchdowns. That's Johnson that gets into the end zone as Lake Taylor claims the Class 3A region crown 40-26, ending what was a remarkable first year under head coach Jerome Mathis. In the Class 2A region championship, we had a matchup right here in Richmond as a one-loss Percosin Islanders team came to town to take on a red-hot and undefeated Armstrong Wildcats team. The Wildcats having probably their best season in school history under head coach Jeremy Pruitt. We pick up. It's Armstrong that's trying to get things going, but things turn south. Anthony Hansen finding Jockey Cotman on the outside, but the ball pops free. Islanders recover in Wildcats territory, and the offense would take advantage of the mistake. They hand it off to the talented tailback. Dom Galactic shakes off a defender, gets it to the end zone. Touchdown Islanders. 7-0. Percosin ahead. Then on the next Wildcats drive, it takes no time at all to respond. Handsome to the flats. Zion Williams makes a man miss. You're not going to catch him. Nothing but cold Richmond City air in front of him. Touchdown Armstrong. We got a ball game. The Islanders, though, looking to regain the lead. They find Austin Conley forced out of bounds just short, but on the next play, they get into the end zone. Percosin comes to town, leaves with the region championship 19-14, ending the Wildcats' perfect season. And finally, we'll finish things with the Class 1A region title game. It's another rematch from earlier in this season. It's a rivalry game. Does it get any better? The Raiders of Rappahannock will be making the short trip to Essex to take on the Trojans tomorrow night at 1:30. The Trojans hoping to advance the Class 1 state title game for the third straight year. And just like that, we have just a handful of area teams that remain alive in the playoffs. Be sure to stay connected with 8 Sports throughout the weekend as we'll bring you the latest from the remaining Class 4 and Class 1 region championship games. Of course, be sure to tune in on Saturday night as well for full coverage from the Commonwealth Clash as the Hokies travel to Charlottesville looking to spoil Virginia's spot in the ACC championship game. But for now, that'll wrap things up for the Blitz. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight and throughout the season. Good night, everybody.